Alright guys, we're back. We've edited our file. Now we're going to go in and we're going to check the results, and then we just have to go through the process of simming those games. So we've already edited the bowls and they should be in the right places. So we should have Texas A&M UCLA in the Rose Bowl, and then we should have Miami and Boise State in the Orange Bowl. And then the other two games don't really matter, but we'll check those to be right. It should be Ohio, Mississippi State in the national title, and then Ohio State, Virginia Tech in the BBVA Compass Bowl. So we'll check that out, loading into our file, and as we did last time when we actually go into which file it, or which storage device, we go into our little flash drive for the time being. So connect to the EA server right here. Alright, there we go, and we go to our memory unit, which is my little flash drive. Load this guy up. I think it loads a lot quicker because there's not that many files on my flash drive compared to my actual hard drive for the Xbox. So we'll go to the Dynasty, and as we recalled last time, as you can see right here, it actually shows which bowl game we are in. So we know this one's the 14 playoff one, so we'll jump into that. It's loading up. And alright, there we go. Let us check and make sure. One thing that you could stumble upon when you go to the Dynasty screen, if it says corrupted file, you did something wrong and you need to go back and you need to go check and make sure. One of the things you got to make sure both the team schedule and the regular schedule are set up for the teams playing each other, and then also on their regular schedules playing each other. So you need to make sure both of those are correct before you get back into this game, or else your file will be corrupted and then you'll have a lot of problems. So we're going to look into here, and I think I clicked the wrong thing. I don't want to go to scores and schedules. I want to go to bowl games. There we go. And if we go, all our bowls are in this later half. So there we go. We got Ohio versus Mississippi State in the national title. We got Virginia Tech, Ohio State in the BBVA Compass Bowl. In the Orange Bowl, we have Miami, Boise State, and then there it is, Texas A&M, UCLA. So now, here's an important part. Now you want to simulate the games. Unless you want to actually play them, you can do that. But I know if I'm doing a Dynasty by myself and I'm not in the games, I'm going to simulate it. So say we're going to start out with Texas A&M UCLA. We're going to sim the game and see who the winner is. So I'm actually going to do that. You have to click on the actual game in the schedule, not like where the bowl games are. So let's go to our scores and schedules. Let us find our games, and I think they all should be, yeah, like this, all the way in the back. So we need, let's do the Texas A&M UCLA one first. So we got to go to here. You'll click A, the play and simulate, and you have to play the game. So what you got to do, you got to click this play game. Once you do that, it'll bring you to the game. Doesn't matter who you pick. I know I'm going to press A, and it's probably going to load up my... Oh, no, it doesn't, because I'm actually on my flash drive. It doesn't load up my custom playbook and all that. But there we go. We've got Texas A&M and the defense, and we're just going to do that. We're going to click A through it, and there we go. We're in the first playoff game, which is going to be in the Rose Bowl. So it's going to load through the game once it gets there, and then we're just going to super sim, or at least that's how I'm going to do it. If you want to sit through and play the game, by all means, do whatever you want, but what's going to happen is you're going to simulate through the game, and it'll save the stats. And then once that happens, we'll do the other game, and then we'll go all the way through, and then once that's completed, we're going to back out with the file, and we're going to edit a little more. So should be fairly quick. We'll actually look at some of the stats while we wait for the game to actually load up. Texas A&M has a great offense. UCLA, not too bad, but you know, not as good as Texas A&M. Is Manziel doing amazing this year? As he is, 99 overall. Him and Mike Evans, which is insane. 48 total touchdowns. And there we go. We're going to go into the game. So this is what you got to do. You got to go through all the coin flip and all that. So we're going to click through this and just get to it as soon as possible. There we go. Doesn't matter. Heads, sure. Okay, or receive, I don't care. Alrighty, so now we're into here. Now, you want to click RB at this point. You'll click the RB button and it'll bring you this super sim thing. Doesn't really matter. I'm just going to sim to the end of the game. Doesn't really matter. I just want to see the game get all the way through. So, we're going to watch the sim right here. Go all the way through. Alright. UCLA up right now. Then A&M scores. UCLA again. A&M gets a field goal. Down 4. UCLA gets another touchdown. UCLA gets another. They're up 18. But then Manziel leads them down. Gets a score. Alright. It looks like UCLA is going to come away with this one. And they do. UCLA is the winner 38-23. So what I like to do, every time I've done a sim so far, I like to check one stat of a player and just make sure it saves over. let's see, like Ben Molina. The easiest thing I like to do is running backs. 14, 103, and then 2 touchdowns. Pretty simple to remember. Just something that I can, you know, hang my hat on and be like, all right, I remember this stat, and see if it actually went through. Because what we want to do is we want to simulate these games and make sure the stats carry over so it's realistic. Because there was a way that you'd go through it before this. You would just kind of set up the games, be like, oh, they won, and then put them in a bowl game. This way, though, you get to save the stats, and it even saves the record, which is nice. So this is going all the way through. It's going to auto-save on us. There we go. And let's see if the game actually saved all the way through. Yep, and there it is. So UCLA did win 38-23. And then I'm going to go through the second game. I'm going to actually cut it out really quick so you guys don't have to see it. We'll have the game, and I'll show you the results. And then we'll go from there and probably be back on my computer in a little bit. So there we go. I'll get into this game, and I'll be back with you shortly. Alrighty, so we simmed our second game. And as you can see, the Miami Hurricanes have lost to the Boise State Broncos. So now that we have this set, we're going to back out again, and we're going to save over our file once again. So now we've got the 2 things saved. And let us see. Let's go over here to our Dynasty setup, go back to our Save tab, and we'll go to the 14 playoff, or just save right over it as we did the last time. We're going to overwrite it on the memory unit. Once that saves, we're good to go. Awesome. And I'm going to dashboard it again, and I will be right back to my computer, and I'll see you there shortly. Alrighty, so now we're back on the computer, and as you can see right here, I have added the winners to the games that I've just added in. So I will go now into our Modio, open this file back up, and again, as always, it'll always ask me, oh, do you want to let this go? Got to figure out how to switch that off, but I just haven't gone to it yet. So I'm going to open up our Modio, and right here again, open from a device. Once we get that, find the one that is your Xbox Live account, and mine's the second one. There's the NCAA Football, and then there's our 14 playoff, so we're going to double click on that, and then it'll grab the file, and then once it's got the file right here, we're going to click the file contents, and we're going to extract the file again, and yes, we're going to extract it right over our file that we had before, so we're going to save that, and yes, we're going to replace it, and then we're done with Modio, and then bring back up the EA VB editor. Alrighty, and like I said before, looks like you may have done something wrong, but no, you're fine. You just gotta open the config file. So we're gonna load that configuration file, and then back to my NCAA playoff, and it's right here. This Zan's NCAA 14 NCAA configuration. Open that file back up, and it'll take a little bit, but once it loads, we'll have to open the file that we just extracted. There we go, there's the configuration, and now we just got to open the Dynasty file, and remember, we got to go down to this drop-down menu, go to All, and it'll show up right there, this first file. We got to open it, and it'll take a little bit, and I'll probably cut to that, so you don't have to sit here for a little bit, but remember, it's like 2-3 minutes, so just be a little patient. Alrighty, so now we're back here, we've got our file. I'm going to bring up my little notepad, and now here's what we got to do. We got to go back to the schedule data, and we're back in the schedules tab. So we're going to do the same thing we did, hit the games once, hit it again, and then hit the week once, week again. And there we go. We're back up to here. So since our results were as such, where we have Miami losing and Texas A&M losing, we have to now switch. So now we've got Boise State, got to go to the national title. So we go up to here, and we edit our national title, and we're going to put Boise State in there, and we're going to replace Boise State in the Orange Bowl with Ohio. Again, bear with me. I know these results seem kind of weird, but if we don't play and sim the game for Ohio and Mississippi State, they'll just lose their bowl game. It'll just disappear. So now our other game, we've got to replace UCLA into here. So it'll be UCLA against the Boise State Broncos. So there we go there. And now we just have to replace it here. And we have to replace them with Mississippi State. And they're right there. Alrighty. And now we got to do the same thing again. Like I said, this could probably be your problem if it's messed up before, but you got to go to these team schedule things and do the exact same thing. Games once, twice, weeks once, and twice. Alrighty, and now we got to flip it up here. So we got to flip this one to Boise State, this one to Boise State, and then we got to flip where Mississippi State is with UCLA. There we go. And this one with UCLA. don't go too far because that one has a bunch of numbers. And there we go. So we've got UCLA and Boise State set up for the national title. And now we just got to scroll down to where both those other teams are. We've got to go to right here, Boise State. We got to replace them with Mississippi State. And I'm going to make sure I get this right. I think I replaced it the other way around. Boise State with Ohio. Again, we'll check really quick whichever way we did it. We just got to make sure the matchups match up in our between the schedules and the team schedules. So this has to be Ohio. And I'm going to check really quick just to be sure. Go back here. Yep, Miami against Ohio. So we've got that correct. Yep, Miami against Ohio. And now we have to do the other matchup, which is UCLA against Texas A&M. We have to flop UCLA with Mississippi State. And let's scroll up. There they are, Mississippi State. And right here, Mississippi State. Alrighty, there they are. And that should all be set. We should be good to go. Everything should be ready. And I'm going to save this file right here. And again, it'll give you a little circle, whichever thing you've got, Mac or PC. And then it'll give you this done. Once it's got the done, you can exit out of the EA DB editor. And then you just bring up your Modio stuff. You right click where the Dynasty 4 team is, and you got to replace the file that you have. So I'm going to click on my Dynasty 14 file that I just made, not the database, but the actual file. And you open it and let that load. It'll go through replacing it. I know there's been a million times I've done it already right there. So now it's replaced, and now you click this save to device, and remember, once this changed to save to device and then flips back to NCAA, that's how you know you're done. So I'm going to click that, save to device. You got to click on your gamer tag, which mine is the second. I'm going to hit select. It's saving the file, and then look down here, right where this NCAA football thing is. As soon as it flips back and forth, you're done. Save to device, and it's done. Alright, so now it's saved the file, so we can exit out of Modio, and I will be back with you guys on the Xbox when I'm done with this. Alrighty, so we've got our file that we've loaded up on the flash drive, and now we're going to go into it again. We're going to load up our NCAA, and like we've done every time so far, we go into our storage device that's not the hard drive, the, I forget what it's called, the external hard drive or whatever it's called. But yeah, once NCAA loads up, we'll get into that, and then all we have to do is the same thing we did the last time. We just have to load up that file, go into the game, sim through the game. If you're not in, if you want to play it, by all means play it. I'm not going to tell you what to do. And then once that's done, and then we've got some other things to do in terms of saving and advancing that will help save that file so that we can then edit it one more time, and then everything will be saved. Ohio State, or not Ohio State, but Ohio and Mississippi State will lose their bowl bid. They won't have any bowl game, but all the stats from the two games. So you'll see that UCLA and Boise State had 2 extra games. Miami and Texas A&M had only 1 extra game. And then, yeah, Miami and Ohio and Mississippi State do not even have bids at all. So let's go see down over here. And as you can see right here, since we flipped those datas and they actually saved the files, you can see it shows Ohio winning against Miami even though we had Boise State. And then it shows Mississippi State beating Texas A&M even though we had UCLA. Once we flip everything back to normal, it'll save out and it'll just keep those stats. So let us go right to here. We're going to go to this game, go into it, and we're going to play it like we've done before. Let's see, there we go. I'm just going to go over to UCLA, make sure it has their playbook so I'm not messing with their style. Alrighty. And we're going to go into here, and I will just cut right here until after the game is simmed. Basically go through, super sim it, or play the game, whichever one tickles your fancy more. And once that's done, I'll meet you back and I'll show you what you got to do to get the last remaining file that you have to edit and save the changes for. So I'll meet you back here in just a second. Alrighty, so we simmed the game, and in exciting fashion, UCLA beat the Boise State Broncos to win the national title, which is kind of fair. They're playing their home stadium in the Rose Bowl. Whatever. So we have UCLA as your national champion. So now we've got our file, and now we have to back out. And now, instead of just saving the file right away, we have to go and we have to advance the week. and we are advancing to the end of bowl season. Do not advance to end of season. You want to advance to the end of the bowl season, okay? If you advance to the end of the season, it'll take you to coaching carousel, and you want to be at this step, which is right before coaching carousel. So remember, you're at bowl season now. You want to go to end of bowl season, not end of season, okay? So I'm going to advance to the end of the bowl season right now. It'll take us right there, and then once that happens, we will go back, we will save the file. I'll probably check some bowl stuff too, just to make sure everything's gone through all right. So everything should go according to plan, because once we got it done, all we have to do is just take our save file, move Ohio and Mississippi State back into the national championship, which will be fine. It won't be played. It's already been played, so we just move those guys into there. Everything should be fine then, and all the stats should be recorded, while Ohio and Mississippi State have not even played a game. So we'll get to this point, and then hopefully we'll be all right. All right, Arizona actually won the Sun Bowl, which is nice. I'm going to add this trophy. I don't know if it matters if I had the trophy or not, but I've just been doing it. So I'm going to add the trophy, and then it'll take us right here. There we go. Arizona winning that, and let us go see if everything is still down packed. We will go down here. Oh, this just shows week 1, not bowl season. I want to go bowl season. Alrighty, and there we go. Everything looks like it's set. Everything's fine, and as you can see right here, the BBVA Compass Bowl did not get played, which is looks to be fine. We're just gonna deal with that. There we go. Alrighty, and now all we have to do is just place Ohio and where's our other team? Ohio and Mississippi State, which is all the way up here. Just replace those two teams, and then we should be good to go. So I'm going to go out. I'm going to save the file like we've done the past 3 times. And then we should be good to go. Alrighty. Save this guy, and then once it's saved, we'll just get it back, and I'll see you guys back on the computer. There we go. I'm going to dashboard it. And I'll be back on the computer in a second. Alrighty, now that we've got our file, the final thing that we've got right here, UCLA winning against Boise State. Gonna open up the Modio again for the 3rd time, and again, asking me if I want to do it. Of course I do, because I just opened it. Computer. So right there we go. Open from a device. And we'll go right here, the second one, which is mine, NCAA Football 14. And then we go to this 14. So we'll open up this file. So he's getting the file, and then we go to File Contents, which is this right-hand tab. Go right here, we're going to right click it and extract the file, and again we're going to save over our file again, and yes, it already exists. You want to replace it, of course. And now we're done with Modio. Okay, so we're going to bring these guys back up, open the EA DB editor. Alrighty, now this is up, we are going to load the configuration file. We're going to go back here, and there it is, the NCAA 14 Dynasty configuration. Open this up, it'll take about 10 seconds for this one to load up. And once this guy loads up, there it goes, starts loading up here. It'll have all the tabs ready to go. Alright, now we're here. We're going to open our other file, our Test Dynasty file, and again, go right here where the drop-down menu is, hit all, and then we'll take this file, not the database, but the actual file, and we'll open it. And again, this will take a little bit, so I'll cut until where it loads, and I'll be back with you shortly. Alrighty, so now we're back here. We got to go to this schedule data tab, and we're at the schedules again. And again, we hit the game twice, the week twice, and then now right here, we've got to switch back Ohio and Mississippi with Boise State and UCLA respectively. So we got to put them back in the bowl games that they were. So UCLA was against where is it? UCLA was against Texas A&M, and then Miami was against Boise State. So we're going to replace Boise State with Ohio. Alrighty, and then we got to do this here, replace Ohio with Boise State. And then we got to replace UCLA with Mississippi State here, and then Mississippi State with Texas A&M. Is that right? No, with UCLA. Doing it backwards. Okay, so UCLA against Texas A&M, Boise State against Miami, Ohio against Mississippi State, and that should set it. Alrighty, we're going to go to team schedules and do the same thing. Game twice, week twice, and then we got to fix the schedule up here. So we got to make this Ohio for Boise State. And UCLA has got to be Mississippi State. And then the same thing here, Mississippi State against Ohio. And then we just got to change it down a little bit lower. And then we will be done with that. And then we can take the file, load it back up, and it'll be all done. Let me see, I think I'm missing it. No, it's because I'm looking at the week. We got to go down to where it starts the game number at 30 something. Okay. So, where are we? Right here, Ohio. Got to replace this with Boise State. And then same here, Ohio with Boise State. And then Mississippi State, we got to replace with UCLA. And then right here, Mississippi State with UCLA. Alrighty, and then we do the same thing here. So now we're done. We're going to click this save thing again. It's going to save over, give us a little spinny thing indicating that it's trying to go all the way through. Once it's done, it'll give us a little done, and we can exit out of the EA DB editor. And then for one last time, we get our Modio up. We replace our file right here. Replace the file with the file that we just edited and saved, which is the first file. Again, not the file database, but the actual file. So we'll open that, and that'll replace it. And then give it a little time. It'll take a little bit for it to start loading. Yeah, there it goes, saying it's not responding. It's trying to save over. And there we go. Once we sit over here, again, the save to device. And then once that saves, we'll look down here in this left-hand corner where the NCAA Football 14 is. And then once that says save to device, we will be done. And I'll click my gamer tag, which is the second one, select that. And then let that file save. Once it does, though, we should be done. Save the device. And there it goes, flips. Now we are done. We can take our file, and then we can move it back to the Xbox. And then once that's done, everything's good to go. You're good to move forward, and that's your 14 playoff. You've got it all set up from that point. So I will be back on the Xbox shortly, and I'll show you the results of that and show you how everything is still set up and good to go. Alright, guys. So for the 14 playoff, I actually made a little bit of a mistake, and I'm going back to fix it really quick. So thankfully we can do that, since we still have the base file still saved. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open Modio right really quick here, and this is what happens if you make a mistake and you've advanced in your dynasty. It's a real quick fix, but we're going to open a device. We're going to go through the process except for loading the or extracting the file. So we're going to select this dynasty thing. It's going to grab the file, and then right here we're going to go to our file contents, but we're not going to do anything with it. Okay, so we're just going to put Modio aside for a second, and we're going to open our EA DB editor. We're going to load our configuration file as we've done before. Go over here, load the dynasty configuration. It's take about 15 seconds to load. Once this loads, though, then we can fix what we messed up. And what we messed up is the way I set it up. When I fixed the teams going into their conference, I not accidentally, but in my head when I was doing this, I messed up the way I was doing it. So again, come here, look for your file. Ooh, bless me. Alrighty. You want to drop this drop-down menu so you can see all your files, and we're going to load this 4-team playoff thing. Load this guy up right here. And then this will take a little bit to load, so I'll cut it, and I'll see you guys once this actually loads all the way up. Alrighty, guys, so now our files are finally loaded, and now I'm going to go and fix the mistake that I made before. So we're going to double-tap games, double-tap weeks, and here's what we did wrong, okay? When we replaced the teams, so when this game, what happened before, so we had Miami beat Boise State, and then we had Texas A&M beat UCLA. The problem we had is we have to leave this right here for this stats to stay the same. We have to go here and we have to fix the stats, okay? So right there, we have to put Boise State as the home team, losing here, the UCLA Bruins winning here. Okay. Now, we also have to fix that in the team schedule. So, double tap the game number, double tap the week number. We're going to fix it here. We're going to fix this to be Boise State right here. And fix this to be UCLA. And this to be UCLA. The reason we're doing this, and I'll show you, I'm going to save this and I'm going to load back up the file on the Xbox and I'll show you what went wrong and what we're going to fix. So right here we have now saved it. So since we are in that stage of the dynasty where we're in the end of the season, we can have a team with multiple bowl spots without it being an issue, because it'll say, oh, you've got too many games the same week. What this is doing is saying that, okay, Ohio and Mississippi State, they're completely out of it. They do not have a bowl bid at all. What we've done is we've said UCLA played this game, and since they win, they went to the national title. And we said since Boise State won their game, they went to the national title and lost in the national title. So we're just putting them twice. And I'll show you how that works when we get onto the Xbox. But for now, that's all you have to do in this. So instead of putting back Ohio and Mississippi State in the national championship game, once you've done it, you leave those two, and all you have to do is go back to the games where you replaced them. So remember when we first did this, since Miami had lost and Boise State won, we replaced here with Ohio against Miami, and then we replaced here, we placed UCLA with Mississippi State against Texas A&M. So now this is all fixed, we go to File, Save, do the loading thing, the loading circle of doing things, and it's done. We next out of the EA DB editor, and now we go back to this Modio that we already loaded up pre-messing with anything. We're going to right-click onto the Dynasty 14. We're going to replace the file. Alrighty, it'll load up right here, and we're going to replace it with the file, not the database file, but the actual file. It's going to go through, it's going to do its blinking things of doing stuff. Not respond, but then we're good to go. Save to a device. Like so. We're going to double click on our gamer tag profile, and then it starts saving, and then once this changes back to from save to device back to NCAA Football 14, like so, we are done. So we'll exit this out, exit this. We're going to remove our flash drive, like so. Eject, and good. We are safe to remove this, or remove our little USB, and then that'll be it. So we will now move to our Xbox really quick. I'll show you the results of it, show you what you should be seeing, and once that's done, we can move forward now. So I'll be with you guys shortly. Alrighty guys, now to show you the update that I made, the mistake I made, how I fixed it, and what the results are. So after we decided to flop those two, knocking Ohio out of it basically, you can see right here we've got UCLA against Boise State, fine and dandy, but as you can see, there's Boise State against Miami, and then there is, where's our other, there it is, UCLA against Texas A&M. So you kind of see what's going on right there. So they're in the bowl lineup twice. So let me show you right here. We've got, not Baylor, that was in the other one I did, but Boise State. So as you see right here, there's the conference championship. They played against UNLV, but then we looked at right here, the bowl game, they played against Miami and they won. Then they lost against UCLA. And if we look at UCLA, right there, they won their conference championship game, but then they played against Texas A&M and won, and then they beat Boise State. So as you see, it shows the two games that they played on their schedule, and it shows them winning, are playing 15 games, same with Boise State. It shows Texas A&M only playing 13 because they didn't play their conference championship game, so they had one more because of the game against UCLA. So that's how the setup goes on this one. So basically that's it for the 14 playoff, and if you want to stay tuned, I will put somewhere right down at the bottom right now where to skip to if you're on mobile, to skip ahead to which part is the well, actually, you don't need to skip ahead at this point. Just keep watching if you're watching the 18 playoff. If you are done watching because you're done with the 14 playoff, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like the video if this was really helpful for you. And I would like to tell you that you should continue watching for the 18 playoff. It's a little bit longer, but it's definitely worth the waiting time, or the time that you put into it, because the 18 playoff I think is a lot better. But this is, the 4-team is very simple if you want to go basic. So thank you guys for watching. If you're watching the 18 playoff, I'll be back with you shortly. For those of you who are leaving, thanks for tuning in. UFC Wildcat signing out.